Hello, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Wellness Wednesday webinar. Thank you very much for joining. Today, we should be looking at the question, should I follow the latest fad diet? I'm Katrina Francis, I'm a registered associate nutritionist, and I shall be hosting today's webinar. If you do have any questions throughout today's presentation, please do just pop them into the Q&A box, and I shall come back to them at the end and answer any which we have in our Q&A box. So today I should be covering what a fad diet is, so highlighting some of the most popular that you may have heard of, as well as looking out for common signs to spot some new ones which may make it to us this new year. Recognising that there are drawbacks to fad diets, and instead focusing on how to achieve a healthy lifestyle. So this is through changing some of our habits, setting ourselves some realistic goals, and also making sure to reward yourself to stay motivated and on track. So to start with, what is a fad diet? So a fad diet is the kind of plan where you eat a very restrictive diet with few foods or an unusual combination of foods for a very short period of time. And usually within this short period of time, it does lead to very quick weight loss. Some other common signs that it may be a fad diet includes that they promise a quick fix. So just remember that if it does sound too good to be true, unfortunately, it probably is. It promises or promotes magic foods or a combination of foods. Unfortunately, again, eating just one specific food will not make us drop lots of weight, and it can obviously have health complications to that as well. If companies or diets try and sell products or supplements, it's considered to be a fad diet. If the diet excludes or severely restricts specific food groups or nutrients, a few examples will be shown in the next slide. Has rigid rules that focuses around weight loss, so actually they think more about the way that you look before and after a diet, or the number on the scales before or after the diet, rather than your overall health and well-being. Thinking about where you're getting your nutrients and vitamins and minerals from can be a sign that it will be a fad diet. And also these fad diets do have very limited studies and research to suggest that it's beneficial for you and your health and well-being. So some of the most well-known and popular fad diets include the Atkins diet. So this is one which is high in protein, high in fat, and severely restricts carbohydrates. This is probably a very common one that people have heard about. And when I am going out onto sites and visiting places, it's one which does pop up a lot in conversation. This is one of those diets which are severely restricting a specific nutrient. And it's important to remind you that carbohydrates are not our enemy. We need them. They help fuel us throughout our day, physical and our mental health as well. So that is one of the fad diets. Another one is the paleo diet. This focuses on consuming natural foods, those which perhaps the early humans consumed, so focusing on meats, vegetables, fruits and fish, and excluding those processed foods which have more recently come into our diets, and also dairy and cereal products. The reason why this is considered to be a fad diet is, again, because we're removing certain food groups which are really important. So here we have the dairy side of it, which provides calcium, vitamin D, which is needed for bone health. The blood type diet, so this one suggests that your blood type determines which foods are best for your health. This one can fool a lot of people, as they tend to think, oh, it's related to a blood type, it's related to my health, my well-being, and also it's sort of like to do with medical advice. There is not enough research out there to suggest that this sort of diet is appropriate for everybody, and therefore it is considered to be a fad diet. Another one is the cabbage diet. So very simple, involves eating large quantities of cabbage soup plus 1 or 2 other foods a day. Again, this is that promotion of a magic food that's going to make you drop loads of weight in a short period of time. And another common one is the Beyonce diet, or any sort of celebrity, influencer, social media diet. Very dangerous, I think, at the moment, when we think about health and well-being. There's lots of myths out there, lots of things like, should I follow this or not? But this is just a specific one that Beyonce drinks only lemonade made from carnio pepper, lemons and maple syrup 9 times a day. And obviously we can all agree that that probably is not healthy for us. So those are some of the most common ones, and the drawbacks to those include, if we cut foods out, so those diets which restrict certain food groups, it also cuts out very important vitamins and minerals which we need to support good immune health. And so, for example, I've mentioned the Atkins diet cuts out starchy carbohydrates, but they're actually really important for us. Can make us feel tired, unwell and irritable. Food is closely related to our mood. If we're not consuming the right amounts or the right types of food, then obviously it's going to impact us. We're likely to gain weight more quickly when the diet returns to normal. So these diets are quick fixes. We do it over a short period of time. It may result in the outcomes which we want initially, but actually we've not changed anything. So when we go back to our usual living, our usual lifestyle, actually we gain weight a lot quicker than we lose it. We feel hungry thinking about foods. It can lead to cravings. So this is a really big one. A lot of people tend to think Monday to Friday, let's be really healthy. That involves perhaps, for example, not eating chocolate. Come to the weekend and we're like, I really fancy chocolate. And we do end up craving it and binging on it. Whereas actually, if we think of it as an overall healthy diet, if we're consuming chocolate every now and again, we're not going to get those cravings and we're not going to eat as much of it as if we just have it as and when we sort of feel like it. Another drawback is that it does lack scientific evidence and may actually be dangerous for our health. Like I said, they focus mainly on a number rather than our health and well-being, not just our physical health as well, but our mental health. And also it can lead to eating disorders. So like I said, it can lead to sort of things like binging, or when we're going back to our usual habits, changing the way that we're eating, and it can be very dangerous for us. So instead, we want to be thinking about how can we achieve a healthy lifestyle. So when we search what is a healthy lifestyle, there are lots of things that need to be included. And just to reiterate, fad diets are not included within that. They're not recommended to live a healthy lifestyle. But what is? So first of all, I'm sure if you've attended some of our webinars before, you would have heard us bang on about the Eat Well guide. This encourages us to make healthier choices, eat a nutritionally balanced and varied diet. Everything can be included within a healthy diet as well. Also, to watch out on our portion sizes. So often people do make changes to their diet, such as, for example, swapping white pasta for whole grain pasta and so on. But actually, if we're maintaining the same portion sizes of each, there's similar calories. So actually we need to try and reduce portion sizes as well. And that guide there, where half our plate is vegetables, a quarter protein and a quarter carbohydrate, is really helpful to aim for that. Also, obviously, it's recommended to be active, so try and achieve 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity or 75 minutes of vigorous activity a week, and just try and reduce and break up the time that we're spent seated or laying down, and break up that sedentary time and get some fresh air. Also, it's recommended to try and prioritise sleep, so trying to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That is the time where we're going to repair, replenish our bodies, recover and be ready and raring to go for the next day. And also obviously trying to manage and maintain our mental well-being as well. So thinking about how we can manage stress, taking some time out, doing something you enjoy, and just taking that time for you to manage your well-being too. So this can obviously all seem quite overwhelming with so much advice. It's all good knowing this advice as well, but sometimes it can be tricky to decide, well, where do I start? So what I would like you to just consider, if you are listening in on this phone call, is to consider your own lifestyle and perhaps identify areas which may need to be altered for you to achieve a healthier lifestyle. Now I'm just going to provide a few examples, some of these just to get you thinking. Some obviously may relate to you while others may not, but it's just to get your mind ticking over. So some habits which may stop you from leading a healthy lifestyle include drinking 5 cups of coffee a day. Although this may seem beneficial, if that is caffeinated coffee, caffeine can be a diuretic, makes us go to the toilet more often, obviously leave us feeling dehydrated. Also with that, we're going to get a slump after consuming that caffeine, and that can really impact our food choices and what we're sort of reaching for as the next thing that we eat. Getting in from work and flopping on the sofa, this is very easily done, and it might be that this is a habit that you have and it stops you from actually doing any physical activity in the evenings. Do you slump on the sofa and then feel unmotivated to get out and go out again? It might be that you snack on chocolate while you're at your desk working, whether that's been because you're in an office and someone's brought it in, or you're just bored and it's something to pick at and chocolate seems to be an easy option. Browsing the fridge while cooking dinner, this is something that I'm very guilty of. I tend to be cooking dinner and then I'll browse the fridge while I'm waiting, seeing what I can snack on in the meantime. Obviously, that's leading me to overconsume more calories than I potentially need, and I don't actually eat the whole nutritious meal, which I have cooked up for myself as I'm slightly full. Another one might be that you stay up late watching TV. This is preventing you from getting your 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Might be that you snack a lot in the evenings, watching your favourite TV show. Another one is not switching off from work. So is it that actually you've got your work phone on you constantly, even when it goes past the hour when you're supposed to log off from work? Do you have your emails popping? You just don't have that opportunity to switch off from work. Is it you scroll on your phone for hours? And again, this might be stopping you from doing something different, such as cooking a nutritious meal or going out and being active. Might be that you consume large portions. So as we talked about, portion control is really important when thinking about diet, to be consuming the correct amounts as well as the correct types of food. And finally, it might be that you skip breakfast. Maybe that you've just not had time to prepare yourself breakfast before you go. And this can actually just not set us up very well for a good day, can leave us feeling quite sluggish and obviously impact our food choices later on in the day. So you might be able to look at some of those and think, actually, I do that. And yeah, I've not really thought about how that relates to an overall healthy well-being and lifestyle. And you probably think of it as it's just normal. It's a habit, it's embedded within your lifestyle. But as you can imagine, if you did all of these, they can add up to you not achieving that health or that well-being that you're wanting to feel. So what you want to then start to think about is setting yourself some goals, and these goals will be the stepping stones to reach your end goal of living a healthy lifestyle or whatever it may be, as I've got here. Originally, when I pulled these slides together, I focused more around weight management and losing weight as a goal. However, I did consider how this could be quite detrimental, as obviously we don't want to just look at a number on a scales, and we do want to think about our overall health and well-being. Although obviously being a healthy weight will benefit us, it might be that you're unhappy in achieving that goal if it's not the number that you're wanting to do. So then you've got to think about what small steps and what small goals can you do to reach this goal. So I've taken the same habits as beforehand and just thought about how we can change them slightly to make them benefit us. So instead of drinking 5 cups of coffee a day, could it be that you alternate between coffee and water? Therefore, we're rehydrating ourselves. Instead of slumping on the sofa when you get in, could you put your trainers by the front door and just get in and go for a walk straight away? There's that reminder, trainers are there, let's go. Or even better, could you do it before you even get in from work, perhaps on your journey home? Instead of snacking on chocolate, could you snack on fruits and vegetables or perhaps something else, rice cakes, just that healthier option? It's important to note that it's not unhealthy to snack. It is completely okay to have a couple of snacks throughout the day, and actually preventing yourself from snacking if you do feel the need to eat can be more detrimental, as then, like I say, you get those cravings. So just think of healthier options and just make sure you have it readily available to you. So when they do open the biscuit tin in the office or whatever it may be, you can be like, no, got an apple in my bag, I'll eat that instead. At least you're still occupied and you're feeding yourself, if that makes sense. So like I said, this one is my one, browsing the fridge while cooking. I found that it was because I was bored. So instead I read or I do a puzzle book, and when I'm cooking, it just occupies me. It stops me needing my hands to be busy, browsing the cupboards and the fridge as well. If you stay up late watching TV, try and create a bedtime routine. So it's not just for children, bedtime routines, it is for adults as well. Is it that at a certain time you'll brush your teeth, and then once you get into bed, you'll do something other than watching TV, such as reading, beginning to wind down? Obviously, as well, the blue light filter on technology can impact a good night's sleep as well. So try and create a bedtime routine for yourself, even into adulthood. If you snack in the evenings, try and look at your main meal in the evening, so your dinner, include whole grains and proteins. These will help us to feel fuller for longer, and hopefully we won't need to snack as much. You may also want to perhaps try and drink if you do feel the need to have a snack in the evenings. Get yourself a cup of tea, obviously try not to have sugar in it, and so on. If you tend to struggle switching off from work, make sure and be really strict with yourself that you turn off your work phone, turn off your laptop, turn off all notifications, so you do have that time to wind down in the evening and have it for yourself. Instead of scrolling on your phone, try something new. Is there something you've always wanted to do? Read a new book? Is it that you want to attend a class that you've not been able to attend, a walking group, knitting, whatever it may be? Try and do something different that actually brings you a bit of joy, boosts your morale, makes you feel good, rather than just sort of looking at a screen as we do perhaps most of the day, and do something different. If you're consuming large portions, and try obviously a smaller plate, trick our minds, all about psychology. And again, go back to that plate guidance. So half of it vegetables, a quarter protein and a quarter carbohydrates, and really think about that each time you dish up your meal. And finally, if it's skipping breakfast, try and consume a healthy, nutritious, delicious breakfast. Sets yourself up for a good day. If you don't have time, is it that you can do something overnight, like overnight oats and so on? So these are just a few examples of how we can change something very small in our lifestyle to be more beneficial for us. Some other goals might include, if you have a good week but struggle at the weekends, try not to ban foods. If you enjoy an evening glass of wine, perhaps focus on not consuming more than 14 units per week. If it's that you don't achieve your 5 a day, could you meal plan to make sure you're getting your 5 a day, include breakfast, snacks, lunch and dinner? And if you're unsure actually at this point what does need improving, you might want to create a diary. A food diary or an activity log can be really useful to sort of see any habits that it might be. It might be that you have 2 biscuits with your afternoon tea, but you've not really thought about it because you do that every day, and so on. So just a reminder as well before I move on, that this is obviously a lot to all take in, a lot to do all at once. So do try and take it slow and just make small tweaks. And once you feel confident that you've now drinking more water, can you then try something else like being more active? So just take it one step at a time. Now, some people can be very demotivated if they don't physically see any change or mentally feel better, which is why it's a good idea to try and track our changes. So you can sort of see where you've come from and where you're heading and so on. So some of the ways to do that is obviously the use of scales. I would try and avoid using these more than once a week. Our weight changes from so many different factors: what you've eaten the night before, how hydrated you are, and so on, the time of day. So although it can be used at stages, I wouldn't recommend solely focusing on scales. You could instead use waist circumference as a good measure. So placing a measure around your waist, seeing how the amount of many centimeters or inches it is, and then keeping a measure on that as well, because that can tell you some differences. There's lots of apps out there which can help you to track your changes. If you want to increase your physical activity, you could use Couch to 5K or strength and flex. The NHS have a really good weight loss guide that can be used, and there's easy meals to think about new recipes that you can try as well. So there's lots out there to help you. Pedometers. So this, you can get one which just clips onto your waist, or often you can get smart watches or phones which will track this for you. If you're wanting to increase activity, you could see, well, this is how many steps I do now. Can I try and do 1,000 more tomorrow? Or over the next week, gradually build up. So by the end of the week, I'm doing 1,000 more, and so on. Calorie counting calculators. So again, this is something that I would not suggest doing for a very long period of time, but it might be something that you want to do at the start of your journey to recognize just how much you are consuming. As often, again, you don't necessarily know how much it is that you're consuming. So this could be used for 1 to 2 weeks just to make yourself aware. And also habit trackers, you can just find these online. You can choose one of those habits. So for example, if it is to drink more water, give yourself a tick every time you have a glass of water, because sometimes you may even forget that you've drunk, so that you can physically see it. You can be like, yeah, I'm doing well with this habit. Or is it that I'm going to go for a walk 2 to 3 times a week? Tick, or make a note that you've definitely gone for a walk, write it in your diary so that you can track and you can see actually just how well you are doing, as that's a good boost for you as well. And then finally, we come on to talk about rewards. So it is really important to have rewards in place. Otherwise, again, we can feel very demotivated. Now, this is often a tricky one, as they often go against our goals. So for example, we might be going out for a meal, eating, overindulging, and so on, and then thinking, I've got to get back on track come Monday, and that sort of bad habit that we don't want to fall into. So instead, you might want to think about some alternative options to reward yourself. So it could be a bubble bath. Could you get yourself some luxury shower gel for when you have done exercise? You only use that once you've done exercise, something to look forward to. It's only something small, but it works each time. It could be after a longer period of time, you treat yourself to a massage, a healthy recipe book, new exercise gear. So the more you use it, feel good, look good, you're going to feel a lot better and want to do it more often as well. It might be that after you're unsure where to get started, so you might want to book yourself onto a personal training session, just one, and then sort of gives you that confidence of, okay, this is what to do in a gym. Healthy cooking class, a family day out, visit somewhere new to exercise. So this is always nice, going for different walks at the weekends where you can travel a bit more. Have yourself a money jar, so each time you complete a new habit, just put 10 pence or whatever it may be into a money jar, and you can treat yourself at the end once you've reached that long-term goal that you're aiming for. And aside from these, don't forget obviously about those intrinsic rewards. So changing your lifestyle will improve your health. Hopefully it will lower joint and back pain, and it will also improve our mood and energy levels. So it's just a reminder that there are benefits to us as well. So just in summary, although many of us would like to lose a few pounds or perhaps live a healthier lifestyle, it is important to not be tempted by that ever increasing range of fad diets, quick fixes and miracle options, which are often unrealistic. So try and stay away from those fad diets, and remember, if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. If you are wanting to lose weight or achieve a healthy lifestyle, do it in a sustainable and healthy and safe way. So focusing on those keys: eating well, portion control, being active, prioritizing sleep, and promoting good well-being, as stated on there. And don't forget, the best way to do that is to look at your lifestyle now, identify areas for improvement, set yourself goals, track those changes, and reward yourself as well. And that's going to be the best way to get to that end point. Now, just a reminder, if you do want to find out some more about what we are doing across ESS and our wellness support, we do have our wellness newsletter. They highlight the wider initiatives that we are supporting each month. So for example, Got Time to Talk Day next month, so we'll have a little bit on that and so on. If you'd like to sign up, do just drop us an email. A lot of you are already on our mailing list, but if not, please do drop us an email. We also are across social media, so Instagram and YouTube. If you search We Are ESS, give us a follow and subscribe to our channel, get updated with 5-minute tip videos. These are later uploaded as well, so you can recommend people to go and watch them and so on. And don't forget that we are always here to support you. So if you are on any of our units, please do get in touch, email us any personal wellbeing queries. You can book us for educational talks, one-to-one sessions, support at health fairs. So if there is anything coming up, please do get in contact and we'll be able to help. So thank you very much all for listening and for your time this afternoon. If you do have any questions, please just pop them into our email. So it's ess.wellness@compass-group.co.uk. I've not had any come through on the Q&A box. That's not a problem. So any questions, do just fire them our way in our inbox. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.